Shawnee, welcome back. Guess what time it is? It's not hammer time, it's not prime time. It is time for our weekly roundup, where I go over all of the palettes I used over the past week and I rank them from least liked to most liked. Now, for whatever reason, maybe it's the look I did that day or the look I did that day, that is pretty much how I rank the palettes. This actually really helps me to figure out if I want to declutter something, or what else. You know, what do I want to do with these palettes? Do I want to put them back in the rotation? Do I want to chuck them or give them to someone? So yeah, there's that. Now today we have 5 palettes in 5 slots. Pretty straightforward. So we're just gonna get right to it, and at the end I will showcase and shout out a product that I'm enjoying that isn't eyeshadow. All right, so number 5, that is the palette I created that is a dupe of the Dose of Colors She's a 10 palette, which is the palette that they recently released to celebrate their 10 years, you know, as a makeup brand. Here is the palette. I did a video on it. I didn't dupe it straight on, like it's not completely the palette from Dose of Colors, but it's close enough that doing a look from it, I think it would be similar to a look I would do with the Dose of Colors palette. I mean, here's the thing, I don't need no more palettes, right? And I used singles. Mainly, there's a lot of Sydney Grace singles in here, except for this one. This one is from Pretties for Your Face. Then the square, the big square ones are Lethal Cosmetics, and this little one here is Natasha Denona Bronze. I really like the look. It was really simple. It was really cute. I wore it for work, I think. Child, I'm always working, so I don't even know. But I really enjoyed it. I like the way it came out, and it solidified that I really don't need that palette. Now, even though this isn't a spot on dupe, I basically used singles or magnetic pans. I do have very, very similar colors to the palette in like my palettes that aren't magnetic, so I couldn't get them out. Do you know what I mean? So I think I could really get even more of a spot on dupe if I were to include shades from palettes that are not magnetic. Hopefully that makes sense. But that is at number 5. Number 4 is Natasha Denona CIRCO LOCO palette. Now, these are magnetized, so I actually took a couple of shades out of here and took them with me to work to do doing my makeup at work or get ready with me at work video. So I think that some people are like intimidated by this palette because it's just like a lot of bright, bold colors. And if you don't use a ton of colors or like the layout is kind of confusing, what I would encourage you to do is to sort of just take groups of colors. So like you could go in with all the pinky ones, or you can go in with like purple ones or blue or orange. So, you know, just using them in like groups, or you can even have like the pinks and the purples, you know what I mean? So that can make it easier to kind of see looks in your mind's eye rather than just looking at this palette that's kind of organized this way. The other thing, since these are magnetic, you could definitely take the shades out and you can arrange them in a way that makes more sense for you. But I really liked this look. I was surprised that I got this like really pretty simple look from this palette, and I definitely am planning to use it even more now that I know that. Now, number 3, we've got Natasha Denona, which is a fave. So guess what the other fave is? Guess who's next? Yes, Pat McGrath. I used her Mothership 1, the OG. This is the Subliminal palette. Now, I feel like this palette doesn't get a ton of love. I want to say this is like her coolest toned palette. Much of her other palettes are very warm toned, pink and gold and brown. Very, very warm tone, which I'm a fan of, okay? But this one is more cool tone, and I don't hear as many people talking about it. I don't hear as many people liking it. So I wanted to make sure that I got some use out of it. It's probably, you know, on my end as well, it's probably the least used Mothership that I have. I do have all of them. Don't judge me, okay? We're in a judge-free zone right now. Anyways, I like the look that I created with this. It was pretty bold. I felt very like bold and like boom pow that day, and I was wearing my dress that says black and smart. I was feeling myself, you know, felt very assertive. So I liked the look. I also liked that I paired it with a very bold lipstick, and I enjoyed using this Mothership that doesn't get a lot of love, and we all deserve love, right? That's especially good to remember since it's Pride Month. Love everyone, okay? Love is love. Like, don't be a punk. Don't be a terrible person. Just love everybody. Okay, so number 2. That is the ODEN'S Eye and the FANCYFACE Hummingbird palette. Now this is my only ODEN'S Eye purchase, and it is the palette that ODEN'S Eye did with Tina from the FANCYFACE. Now the reason I pulled this out, I do like the palette a lot. I got it on first launch. The reason I pulled it out is because I was considering purchasing some of the newer ODEN'S Eye releases. I know they have the like 3, one of which they did in collaboration with Lauren May Beauty, and then they have 2 other larger ones. So I was really considering whether or not to get them. So I wanted to pull out my ODEN'S Eye palette to determine if I liked the formula and everything like that. Now I loved the look that I did with this palette. I really and truly did. That's the only reason why it's in number 2. It should have been number 5. And that is because the shimmers attacked me, okay? Let me tell you what happened. So I did my eye look and everything, and I thought it was super cute, and I went downstairs. I was working from home, so I get on my little teletherapy thing, and I'm like winking and like fluttering my lashes because there were shimmer particles in my eye. So I was like, I can't be doing this all day with my clients, right? Inappropriate. This is not okay. I don't want to be mistaken for winking at you, you know? So after my first session, I came upstairs. I put the contacts in contact solution. I used some drops for my eyes. I was like, okay, great. Now I can put them back in. Child, I put them back in and they were doing the same thing. So I ended up taking the contacts out and just wearing my glasses the rest of the day. Now, I'm thinking that this could be user error because typically with shimmers, I will use a sticky primer, but I didn't use a sticky primer with these. So I'm not quite sure. I didn't wet my brush or anything. I'm not quite sure because I never had that problem before. So either it was me, the palette is old, or it just wasn't my day. Like, maybe I did something and karma was like, I'm gonna get you in the eye. So I'm going to continue to use this and, you know, risk it all. No, I'm just kidding. And see if it works better with a, like a glitter primer. If not, I'm definitely gonna have to get rid of it. Let me know your experience though. I really think that maybe that was a one-off because I've never had that experience with these shades like at all. There was one brand, I can't remember what it was. But they have these little like cute like 6 pans. Shoot, it's an indie brand. Let me know if you remember. Put it in the comments because I'm just totally blanking. And the glitter tried to take me out and I got rid of all those palettes. So I'm not one to keep palettes that are difficult with my eyes. Like, I can make adjustments to lots of different things, but not ones where things get in my eye. Like, that's just not gonna work. I need my eyes. Now, number 1, I have 4 palettes from this brand and I like each of them. Love them. I don't know. I think they've been in my ranking before and maybe even at the top, but this week we have the Lure palette from Blend Bunny. I I really liked this. I was given like very like spring, summer look because I had on like a little blouse. Like I was just bringing some sunshine to people's lives that saw me that day. So I really enjoyed this. I really liked the look that I created. I like all the palettes I have from Blend Bunny. I have the Blends palette, which is all matte. Then I have Surge, the Dollhouse, and Lure. And I haven't gotten more of the other newer palettes because some of them are kind of similar to the ones I already have, but who knows. But I really enjoyed using this palette, and I like the look, and I hope that you like it too, because it is at number 1. Now, the product that I want to showcase or give a shout out to that is not eyeshadow related is the LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing Pigment. Now, I've talked about the white one, but I started using the blue one pretty recently. Now, the white one, it helps to lighten the foundation color. So if you have a shade that is a little bit darker, like maybe it's your summer shade and you haven't like had enough sun to get there yet, the white can really help to lighten that shade, and it doesn't change the texture of your foundation or anything like that. Now, I wanted to neutralize some foundation that was looking a little orangey red on me. And rather than getting a whole new shade, because I like the finish of the foundation, I like the coverage, I was like, oh, maybe I can use one of my mixing pigments. And to neutralize a very like orange shade, you want to use blue. This changed the game with my eyeshadow. Like all the ones that are leaning orange, which for some reason, a lot of times deeper shades, they think we're like orange. I don't understand. Charlotte's Tilbury. So I have been really enjoying using this with my more orangey red foundations that are just the wrong undertone for some reason. Like they worked before, but things change. So I've really been liking this. Now I've gotten mine at Ulta. I have the white one, the blue, and I have the yellow. Haven't used the yellow yet because it is, I think, for like making things warmer, and I usually don't need to warm foundations and stuff up. Usually I need to neutralize them a little bit. I think there's also a red one. I'm not sure, but these are the 3 that I was able to get at Ulta. So if you've tried this out, or if you've tried, I think there are some from e.l.f. Let me know if you've tried any of them and what your experience has been. I know that before I used the white one and someone was upset that I used a foundation mixer, but the shades in the foundation I was putting on were way too dark. So I wanted to not have to not use a foundation, and I used the white one. So if it's helpful to know, I did use a bit of the blue today with my Lisa Eldridge foundation in the shade 33. That is it, my lovelies. I hope that some of this was helpful. I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you used this past week, or like your favorite palette, your least favorite palette. Let me know, because I really enjoy hearing what you all are using. I know Dawn is always using Huda Beauty, so I'm really curious as to whether or not she used it again this week. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.